Hello, everyone. This is kind of an impromptu live, but I just had the hit to come on and share this with you guys. The difference, I'm going to spray myself with a little bit of cleansing spray. Check out the sunset, it's beautiful. Responsibility versus reaction. And what do you, as a business owner, what kind of responsibility do you currently have for your clients, for your prospects, for your audience? And I'll also be covering some offer creation tips and tricks. Hey, Dave, good to see you. This was a totally impromptu live. Um, just kind of had the hit about sharing with people how can you create more responsibility in your business versus reaction, and share with you how can you go and create offers from the space of responsibility versus reaction, how what it takes right now in order for you to be successful in this time of panic and fear. And I'm going to provide you with some messaging and marketing questions that you guys can take to not only create these offers, but also how can you market them. This light is really cool. I think that's why I just got the hit to come on live. So as you pop on, please say hi. If I don't know you, or if you don't know me, my name is Marina and I'm an intuitive business strategist. And amidst this crazy chaos right now, my intuitive skills have come in stronger than ever, and especially for my clients. And right now, myself and my clients included are really stoked. Not about people dying, or people experiencing fear, or people experiencing anxiety, or potential famine, or whatever else may happen in this climate. I'm like crying as I'm stating this. I don't know if it's the sun or what. Not necessarily that, but excited about the level of responsibility that we have a potential to demonstrate. And we have this kind of responsibility, not just, I don't mean like responsibility as in like Atlas carrying the world, but response ability. Your ability to respond is what's going to carry you through, not just that, but also allow you to thrive in this crazy, chaotic business market and world market right now. I don't even want to say it. Environment. That's a better word. Environment. So to begin with, I kept on hearing the word first responder. Okay, I kept on hearing the word first responder. I was about to literally just go out for a drive and go see the sunset, and something was just like, no, come on live, come on live. First responder would not leave me alone. And today in my client sessions, everybody's pivoting, right? Not necessarily like fully, completely revamping their business, but pivoting in their business in order to meet the collective need right now. And in what way? In what way can we show up and serve more powerfully? Hey, Lynn, good to see you. Hi, Martha. I see a lot of new faces that I've never seen before. So I'm gonna hammer off some questions that I actually shared today with my clients, but I want to give these to you guys as well. If you are in a state of either pivoting in business, or creating an offer, or you're thinking about finally starting your online business, these are the questions right now that will really be pivotal and monumental and pinnacle for your success right now. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. I'm sharing these questions that I shared with you actually earlier today about being the first responder and what pivoting in business actually means. Okay. And I'm going to introduce you guys to some marketing things and messaging in a way that not just responds, but offers a solution to individuals. So, if you guys don't know me, yet again, my name is Marina. I'm an intuitive business strategist. I do channeling with my clients to channel their future visions in business, channel their strategies, channel their sales prowess, because everybody sells really differently. So, I use my intuitive gifts along with my strategic implementation and my ass kicking type of attitude, like, come on, let's get her done, to coalesce the will of my clients and to create amazing results. So, okay, I'm trying to like kind of hide from the sun. Maybe I should just, whoa, okay. This lighting is really wild. Okay, so to begin with, when you're creating an offer from the space of responsibility, how do I respond to this global need right now? First of all, I want you to I encourage you to take a look inside and really just, if you were to forget money and business and all this other stuff, what is like the number one thing that you want to say to another human being? And what is the number one thing that keeps on showing up for you in your life that will not leave you alone? In which way that you are driven to serve the planet, okay? Whether it would be, for me, is to help you create businesses. For me, is to activate you into action and get you going. For me, that's what mine is. Just created a new offer today. SOS, get your business online in 3 days. $27 is the cheapest thing I've offered in years. But that was the guided nudge I got, so I went with it. Yeah, I have recently also introduced some lower cost offerings, and that's something that I have suggested also to my clients. And the reason for that is, some business coaches would be like, oh, don't lower your prices, whatever. But the thing is, we live in a time right now where we have the opportunity to affect so much more people, because there's so much more people online that are scrolling Facebook that are looking for something to grab onto, and you are their first responder by offering something like that, right? So the first question to ask, what is the current sense of urgency that I am answering? If that makes sense. What is the current sense of urgency that I am answering? Whether it be through my service, through my business, whether it be through a charity thing that you want to do. I'm talking specifically to service-based business owners right now. But what is the current sense of urgency that I'm answering to? So one of my clients, he created the responsibility. Yeah. He created a wealth building program utilizing his magic and sorcery abilities to help people right now with their money issues, and combining his talents and also answering this need of like, hey, people are going to be really freaked out about money, so it's time to help them open up different channels for money. So he started this money program. One of my clients is creating an intuitive eating course in order to help people, bring more sense into their nutrition and strengthen their immunity in this time of fear, calm down their nervous system so that they can, proceed healthy and happy and take care of their families and take care of what needs to be done. And to calm that fear through food and food choices. For me personally, I'm rolling out offers that cover the basics for me, which is offer creation, sales, and marketing. And I cover that in 3 or 4 sessions, and uncovering both not a done for you, but like an evergreen course that's lower priced, as well as booster packages that are lower priced than I normally would be offering them. Ways to work online during these times of social distancing. Yeah, exactly. So the second question, right? What is the current sense of urgency that I'm answering to? So for me personally, is helping entrepreneurs to get their businesses online, is to get them sales and to get them going in these ideas. So what is this first current sense of urgency that I am responding to? What is my response ability, not reaction? What is this sense of urgency that I'm now answering to? So the second question that I'd like for you to ask, and this can be used in your marketing as well when you answer these questions, the second question that I'd encourage you to ask, what is the biggest fear that I'm currently speaking to? So, for instance, for the client that I just mentioned about the intuitive eating class, the biggest fear that she would be speaking to is the individual fear of getting sick, the fear of contracting the virus, right? The fear that my other client is speaking to is about people going broke. The fear that I'm speaking to is like, oh my God, is my business going to fail? How do I stay flexible? And how do I still create offers, marketing, and sales to make sure my business sustains during these tumultuous times? How can I pivot? How can I adjust? How can I be in more of a state of service? That's the fear that I'm responding to. Whatever your business may be, say, for instance, if you are, I don't know, somebody give me an example and I'll give you a specific fear. But these fears right now are very real. And if you boil it down to what people actually want, is they want to feel safety, security, and connection, which brings me to my next question for you to answer as far as like, how do you pivot in business now? What do you do next? The third question that I encourage you to answer is, what is the biggest desire that I'm speaking to? What is the biggest desire that I want to help people achieve? through this tumultuous time, right? For me, the biggest desire that I want to achieve is I want to make sure that people's businesses don't tank, that people pivot and get creative in whatever way they need to get in order to sustain themselves and their families and thrive actually in these times while creating positive, amazing impact and change on the planet, especially from transformational type fields and service-based entrepreneurs that focus specifically on transformations. So that is my biggest desire that I'm speaking to. My other client, she speaks to the desire of individual being healthy with her intuitive eating class. That's what she's responding to. Another client that created the money program, the biggest desire that he is speaking to is for individuals to feel safe and to feel supported with their finances, right? So when you're creating offers and you're marketing messaging, think about these two questions. What is the biggest fear that I'm speaking to? And what is the biggest desire that this individual has that it is my mission right now to help them fulfill, even during this time of tumultuation, even during this time of testing grounds, essentially? What is the biggest desire that they have? And what am I actually speaking to? Is this making sense to those of you that are watching? And if so, feel free to stop me. Feel free to ask me questions of how this can be put specifically into your industry. So the next question, I have two more questions that I encourage you to ask yourself as you're creating offers or creating these shifts or pivots in your business or are thinking of starting an online business is, what are the 2 to 3 biggest points that I want to address in my message when it comes to this program, when it comes to this offer, when it comes to whatever it might be? What are the 2 to 3 biggest things that you want to address in the message? The reason why I keep it to 2 to 3, well, right now people have short attention spans because people are panicked, people are in a state of anxiety, so they can only intake 2 to 3 solutions. So say, for instance, if you are a business coach or a transformation, speaking really quickly here, transformational coach who offers like an extended one-on-one package, right now individuals don't have that much focus to be able to absorb all of the richness of your one-on-one package. They have 2 to 3 fears right now that's like at the forefront of their mind, and if you speak to those 2 to 3, they'll be sold, essentially. They will be like, oh my God, I need you right now. Yes. So what are the 2 to 3 biggest points that I want to address in my message? So for me personally, the 2 to 3 biggest points that I want to address in this message is, how do you respond in a state of crisis? How do you pivot in your offers to still create high impact and high value for people? And high value, I don't mean just money, but high value for people. And how do you create marketing approaches that will still have people knocking at your door and desiring your service? So those are 2 to 3 of my points, right, of how I am answering this pandemic. For you, or say, for instance, for my client who had the intuitive eating course, for her, the 2 to 3 biggest points that she would address would be immunity, nutrition, and how it's really important to keep your body safe and healthy right now so that you don't contract disease, so that you can continue spending time with your family and do what needs to be done, right? So 2 to 3 points in your marketing and messaging, and 2 to 3 points in your offer currently will create a high value, short-term offer that will give people almost like this injection of your medicine. The other thing about this, and I may get shit for this, that this is actually a great strategy. This is not a long-term strategy, obviously, but it creates it expands your audience, okay? Because now you are attracting people at various budget levels. You are attracting people who would not normally be attracted to you. Say, for instance, I'll use myself as an example here of what I mean by this. I have been doing one-on-one only up until recently, and I have a mastermind brewing and a digital course that's self-study. And that's my way of responding and offering my work at lower prices than I have been doing. And by doing so, what you create is, not only do you create, hey Tamaris, hey Crystal, not only do you create a larger product suite so then you could scale more sustainably, but also you're expanding your audience who are then going to be more primed for your work. And then once all of this calms down, etc., that are maybe more primed for your higher priced work in your product suite, if that makes sense. So that's more of like also a business strategy, but I wouldn't recommend it for long term. Right now, I'm giving you this kind of a strategy to use from the standpoint of being responsible, if that makes sense. So the other thing, when you're including 2 to 3 points, include humor, you guys. Like, include humor. There's a lot of, I mean, like, the world needs a comic relief right now. One of the things that I told my client with the intuitive eating class, I'm like, you can utilize the toilet paper shortage in your marketing messaging, because when you eat more healthy, you're not going to be like wanting to shit your brains out, so you're going to need less toilet paper. Like, you could definitely use that in your marketing messaging, because not only is it going to provide a comic relief for people, and that's your ability to respond to people's fear by giving them a relief with, comedy. But also it proves a valid point. It proves a very valid point. So don't be afraid to use humor in your 2 to 3 points when you're doing your marketing, or when you're creating an offer. When you're creating an offer too. Make sure you include humor in your sessions, in your classes, etc. People need that right now. And lastly, the last question to ask when you're creating your marketing messaging or your offer, the last question to ask in this time of response is, how can I tie each one of those 2 to 3 points back to the initial sense of urgency? And let me explain a little more, because I know that's a little confusing. So if you're 2 to 3 points right now, I'm going to keep using my client with the intuitive eating course. If your original point, is to help people increase their immunity and help people with their nutrition, right? To make sure that they don't get sick, to make sure that they stay healthy. How can you bring it back to the state of urgency and this fear? And how can you tie it all together in your marketing messaging, right? So now is the most important time for you to take care of your body. Now is the most important time to not buy canned foods or a whole bunch of pasta, but actually look after your nutrition so that you can stay healthy, so that you're responsible in your role in not spreading this disease or not contracting it. Does this make sense? So I'll use myself as an example of how can I tie my initial point back to that sense of urgency. So the sense of urgency that I'm addressing is to business owners of like, oh shit, how am I going to keep my business alive? Oh my God. So I'm giving you these prompts of how to create offers, right? So I'm tying it back to the initial sense of urgency, stating that if you act responsibly, if you are flexible, and if you act and speak and create offers that solve people's fears and get them to their desires, then you are going to thrive through this time. So I'm bringing this kind of point back to that original sense of urgency, which is what I encourage you to do in your marketing messaging. And if you go through all of these questions, it will give you clarity on your content. It will give you clarity on what to offer and to who. It will give you clarity on how to speak about it. And it will give you ideas on how can you serve more powerfully in this day and age right now. So let me repeat the questions that I encourage you to ask yourself. So first of all, right now, in order to be response-able and not reactive, I need a breath. I'm like, gah! I'm so excited. I want to tell you guys all of this stuff. What is the current sense of urgency that I am responding to? Whether or not you have a business, if you have a business, if you're a business coach, what is the sense of urgency you're responding to? If you're, a transformational guide, you're responding to stress, perhaps. If you are crystal shop owner, you're responding to people's stress levels by offering perhaps crystals at a discount that calm their nerves, right? What is the sense of urgency that I am responding to? Then go on asking, what is the biggest sense of fear that I am speaking to? What is the biggest fear that I'm speaking to? So for me, I'm speaking to the fear of people's businesses tanking and not sure how they're going to make it through this point in time. The third one, what is the biggest desire? You're so welcome, Debbie. I'm glad that you're loving it. What is the biggest desire that I'm speaking to? So the biggest desire that I'm speaking to is individuals in service-based industries to continue and to thrive, to make sure that their businesses don't tank, and how to survive, how to make sure their businesses survive during this time, right? That's the biggest desire, is to make sure that their business not only survives but also thrives. Then what are the 2 to 3 biggest points that I want to address in my offers and my marketing? The 2 to 3 biggest points that I want to address personally is creating the offer and how to market it and how to speak about it, and also how to create sales. Those are the 2 to 3 biggest points that you'll see me talk about in most of my marketing, and that's what I'm talking to you guys now and giving you step-by-step instructions about how to do that for yourself. And lastly, how can I tie it back to the original sense of urgency? Well, I just gave you exactly how to market, how to create the offer, what kind of questions to ask to make sure that your business survives, stays alive, and thrives from the standpoint of responsibility instead of reaction. Is this making sense to all of you that are watching? This was kind of like an impromptu live, and to those of you that have stayed on, I appreciate you guys staying on. I hope you found this information highly valuable on how to make sure that you're showing up from a state of responsibility to make sure that you respond to human needs right now, and how to create offers, how to create service from this state of being. And having said that, you guys, I have a couple of offers that are in the works right now. For most budget levels right now, I'm willing to work with you if offer creation, marketing, and sales are currently like your issue, and especially right now you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because I'm freaking out. Go ahead and PM me. I'm sure I can work something out with you. I've recently started to do 21-day booster packages to help you with your offer creation, sales, and marketing. It's like a 3-week long thing, and you get some pretty intensive support from me. I am going to be launching my course that's going to be evergreen, and that's going to be around $200 to $300 mark. And I'm going to have a Facebook group for support there where I'll just answer questions in that way. And I have a mastermind coming up within the next, I'm seeing like 2 to 3 weeks. And this is for individuals who've been wanting to work with me one-on-one, but perhaps can't afford my one-on-one prices. And this is going to be very low 4-figure fees per month. It's going to be $1,000 per month for 3 months. And I'm going to keep it pretty intimate, just to make sure that I give this kind of individualized support to each and every single person, so I can channel your ideas for you, so I can help you create the offers that are super unique, and help you with your vision. I work with a very wide variety of individuals, everybody from magicians and sorcerers to loan officers to horticulture specialists to birth doulas, videographers, coaches, authors. I work with a wide variety of individuals, and I am sure that I can help you guys in your businesses. So if you have any questions too, or if you're curious about how I can help you right now during this time, and you have a certain budget level, but you're like, hey, I need your help, go ahead and PM me. It doesn't cost you anything to speak with me, and I'll see if I can come up with a custom solution for you, because right now that's my way of responding to the need, is to help leaders and transformational service-based entrepreneurs to help also respond and be the first responders in this crisis. That's truly my passion, is helping people with service-based transformational ideas to help them into fruition, utilizing my skills with sales, marketing, and translation. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stay on for just a few more moments. Feel free to message me. Like I said, I don't bite. I've been pretty healthy. I don't get the cooties. I don't have the cooties. So I've been keeping at home and keeping myself nice and healthy. So I hope you are too. Does anybody have any questions before I hop off? I'm going to check on my check on my laptop to see. Okay, beautiful. Haley, I'm actually about to hop off, but I'm just seeing if anybody has any questions about everything that I just have thrown at you. So, on that note, you guys, I'm going to repeat the questions. So what is the sense of current urgency that I'm answering? What is the biggest fear that I'm speaking to? What is the biggest desire of the outcome of the individuals that I'm speaking to? What are the 2 to 3 points that I want to address in my offer and my message? 2 to 3, keep it 2 to 3, to keep it a low ticket offer and to keep it responsible, to keep it like a first responder type of a thing. Include humor in this, include all the toilet paper jokes you want in this. I highly encourage it because people need comic relief right now. And then, of course, if you are utilizing this approach to create marketing from, make sure you tie it back to the original sense of urgency. Any questions on any of that? All right, I'm not seeing any more questions. I'm going to go watch this beautiful sunset. Actually, let me show you guys. I want to show you guys the sunset. It's beautiful. Look at that. I'm going to go for a drive and enjoy the sunset. Do you help with business development or just marketing for those that already have one? Both. Both. If you are brand new in service-based businesses, I can definitely help you get off the ground. Yeah, feel free to PM me. Is it Jalay? Pierre? Tell me how to say your name. But yeah, definitely feel free to message me. I work with both people who have never sold before and people who need assistance on learning how to market, how to sell, getting clarity on what it is that you do, creating your first offer. That's actually the first thing we start doing. I do things a little backwards, meaning most mentors tell you, grow your audience, connect with people. But the thing about that, what it leads to is, a lot of people who want to collaborate with you and you not having confidence in what you're selling. And so then you have a whole bunch of people that you have an audience of, but you still have no product. And it's kind of backwards, but that's like the norm in the coaching industry, which is weird. So what I start off with is creating an offer right away. And the reason for that is because it gets you selling right away. It gets you more confidence right away. It gets you working one-on-one with people right away. It gets you into the state of being a mentor, a facilitator, a service-based provider right away. That way you can learn more of your work. That way you can ground into more of your work. And then you can market from that space because you have data. You have people responding to your work and you're seeing how they're responding. So you're seeing what needs to be tweaked. And then from then you could scale. I don't have a business, but have an idea that I think I may want to pursue while utilizing my nursing background. Yeah, feel free to PM me. That's actually one of my specialties. I love combining the kind of like the right-brained, service-based entrepreneurial individuals with, the mastery that you have received from school and from your background, from your corporate. Because a lot of people right now, too, in the spiritual, especially, or transformation-based industries, they want to reinvent the wheel. They're looking for like, what is that thing? What is my genius? And quite frankly, the thing that you do for people and your offer is based on all of you, right? So one of the first things that I would do with you is we would take inventory of all of the things that you are amazing at that are from your nursing background. Perhaps if you had any corporate background, we'd take a look at that. We take a look at any kind of transformations you have facilitated for people. We take a look at any testimonials that perhaps you've had for your paid. We take a look at literally all of everything, and compile it into the idea. That's something I'm also really good at, is taking a whole bunch of information and translating it into something that's a process and a framework that people can grasp their minds around. Is this making sense for you? What a pretty name. Jalay? Jalay? Jalay. Let me know if that makes sense for you. My hair is super red right now with the sunset. It's like really cool. Okay, I'm seeing hearts. Seeing hearts. That I'll take that as a yay. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm gonna stay on. I know there's a little bit of a delay. If you are watching the replay and if you have questions, feel free to pop them in as well. I'll come back and answer them. Toilet paper jokes. Include toilet paper jokes. It makes a lot of sense. It's pronounced jolly. I like it, jolly. That's so beautiful. I love it. Where are you watching from? Where are you in the world? And nice to meet you, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen you around, so I'm glad that you got a chance to hop on live and interact. Okay, let's see. Does anyone else have any more questions? I'm loving this light with the sunset. It makes me look like I have fire hair. All right. Thank you, Riverside County, California. You're so welcome. I am in Keystone, Colorado, and our ski resorts have closed. I don't really feel so good about that, but I'm going to show you view out my window. That's Keystone Mountain. This has been my home for the last 7 winters, and I live here during the winters and on Maui in the summer. So I've been doing that for the last three winters. Gosh, I don't know. Oh my God, I have to show you the sunset again. Sorry, I'm like, ugh. Look at that. There's fire in the sky. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go outside and enjoy some of the sunset beauty. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. I will come back and answer them after my little sunset stroll. It was so nice to meet all of you that I have never met before, and I will talk to you all soon. So be responsible in all ways. And yeah, I hope you all stay healthy and safe and calm, and much love and aloha to all of you. Cheers. Mwah.